What's up, guys? So, this is my part 2 continuation of my discussion on Attack on Titan Chapter 55, the latest one released. So, what happened was my camera died off in the first part 1. It only lasted about 30 seconds, but I felt the introduction and the points made in those 30 seconds to a minute were so good that I could not, in many ways, just cut that out. So I made it into part 1 and part 2, and so fusing them doesn't really work in my opinion because my video editing software just takes forever to render. So I left it in part 1 and this is part 2 of the discussion. So let's just get started. I'm assuming you guys have read the chapter already, 55. That hook where it turns out the Race family is the real royal family, I did not expect that. That was pretty cool. I knew that the king that was shown already was kind of like a dunce, an idiot, but who knew that he was a fake king? Now, what's the point of all this? Is this just added protection? Have a decoy royal family? Possibly. More so than that, like certain things have been shown that unravel the mystery in this chapter. First, we find out that I like how they phrased it. The whore who pretty much got pregnant off of one of the royal family members, possibly the real king, and they had a daughter who happened to be this girl who's now who they should have executed, honestly, but it's like in certain ways the worst case scenario because now she has royal blood running through her veins. She's technically supposedly allowed to be king because of or queen because of her royal blood and allowed to rule, and now she's sided with the squadron that is probably the worst squadron to side with, the Survey Corps. So it all seems like a terrible, terrible situation for everyone, and it's literally like, what's going on now? Granted, you might be thinking, why are you siding with these guys? They're the bad guys. This chapter, if you didn't read it, makes clear that it's not black and white anymore. It's not Titans, bad guys, good guys, humans. There's gray areas in between, and both parties, both humans, seem to be doing the right thing, and Titans are just some sort of mindless medium that is being used by one party of the humans. So it's, once again, if my theory is correct about this whole conspiracy, in the fact that the whole Titan thing was constructed based on science in order to transform humans into Titans and control the population so that they don't fight amongst themselves over other things like religion and so forth. And so it's very good. It's a very good plot because it exemplifies reality. In real life, in certain ways, there is no black and white. It's not good and bad. In certain scenarios, it is, but in others, many others, it's gray. There's two bad parties or two slightly good parties, or just a subjective opinion on things. An example would be a robber. A robber in real life would be exemplified to be bad. Well, what if this robber had to rob food from a store that had plenty of food, who were living plentifully, and he stole food because his family was starving to death and the corrupt government was exploiting everyone else? Who is morally wrong here and there? Is it the government that has destroyed the community and caused these people to starve to death and forced them to steal in order to survive? Or is it the people who steal and survive? And is the person who decides not to steal even though he can in order to starve to death, is he morally right, or is he just a fool when he could survive? So that's another question to take into account. It's the same thing with Attack on Titan. If you want more discussion on moralistic things, you can check out my main channel. You can find that on my about page on this channel, where I talk about a lot of stuff, including philosophical stuff like that. And that can be found at youtube.com/willyouLaugh. Anyhow, back on topic here. This is very interesting in my opinion, because basically from this chapter, my theory is that, adding on to what I've said before, it seems like the military police and the other factions of the government, in my opinion, I think what they're doing is they are suppressing anyone who questions the regime. Most likely what happened was 100 years ago, they used the Titans to fashion this city. Then they used some sort of medicine to mind wipe everyone, because these people knew that the Titans weren't actually threats. They were actually helping the human beings. So the point was that there was a lot of war and stuff going on outside. So they secluded themselves in this place to survive, and they created this fake construct of Titans. And it's already been sort of shown that they can make humans into Titans, and they can control these Titans with one coordinator who has this ability to direct the Titans. And they have human Titans and different classes of Titans to control these Titans. And so this was all used to construct this villain in order to scare off the dumb population, and unite them, so that rather than fighting amongst themselves, they united to fight against the Titans, and they stayed in the walls, and there was forever peace. The problem was that they had to keep stamping out those who dissented or questioned. So that was sort of shown in the flashbacks in this chapter, where the teacher started questioning the history books, and the one couple, I didn't understand that one where the one couple tried to escape in the air balloon. I thought that was just stupid, because even if you escaped, the Titans would eat you. Like, that's still a threat. So that couple was just stupid. And the fact that they shot the couple down, I thought it was even stupider. They didn't even need to do that. They could just let the Titans consume them once they escaped. Maybe they were concerned that there was a chance that the Titans would miss them, and they would get to the point beyond where the Titans are. I feel like what's happening here is there's the cities with the three walls, then there's a very vast layer of Titans, and then beyond that there's a layer of something else that once you get there, you're like, holy crap, I understand this whole thing now. It's all fake. And so maybe they're scared of getting to that point. Anyhow, it was kind of explained. This whole chapter exemplified, I think his name was Sains, who was the torturer who's now being tortured. It seems to be that everyone thinks that they're doing something for justice, save for the few corrupt government people who are just corrupt and only wanting to save their own skins. It seems that both factions seem to want to do the right thing. The Survey Corps, they are torturing people even though it hurts, but they've gone through it. They're like, we have to do this. And Levy is like cold-hearted with this. He wants to know the truth. He wants justice at the end of the day. So he's willing to make a few sacrifices, torture a few people, manipulate a few people. Anyhow, both parties want to do the right thing, and therein lies a gray area. My theory is that the Survey Corps, well, their whole motive is very straightforward. They want to know what's going on. They realize that the Titans aren't just bad guys anymore. It seems like the inner government is sort of trying to stamp out anything that's going on with them, trying to, kill them off, trying to cover their tracks, cover the truth. Something fishy is going on. It's not just the Titans that are the bad guys. On the flip side, it seems like the military police, or maybe there's I feel like there's the inner government who truly know what's going on, and then everyone that they're employing underneath, like the military police, who know just enough. And Sains falls into that category where he is pretty much, he knows enough, and I think what he knows is that, if my theory is correct, this whole thing was some sort of construct, and maybe Eren's dad was in with this group as well. Or Eren's dad was who found out about this through experiments, and he got killed off by the military police one day. But it seems like what Sainz knows is that he knows enough. He knows who the real royal family is. He knows about this whole. If my theory is correct, he knows that this is all some sort of construct, fake construct, in order to sort of prove or show that it's the peace is what's important, and in order to keep the peace, they have to pretend that the Titans are like the fake enemy. I love it when my theories are disproven, because it, like, there's only a few logical things that you can think up based on the evidence so far, and if it's disproven or some new explanation for all this comes about as the author writes on, that really shows that the author is really thinking about the readers and trying to make them guess, and is really thinking about all the possibilities and trying to surprise them, which I love. That's my whole theory though, and I think it could be correct, and if it is, then I mean the Survey Corps could find out all about all of this after doing all this work and realize, hey, maybe it is the right thing, sort of like what happened in the movie Watchmen, where it's just like, holy crap, the conspiracy is now revealed, but what they were doing was in fact the right thing, because maybe outside the walls there really is no peace, and it's really a worse off world. So having this sort of fake world with the Titans could have been a good thing. Now, why exactly would they make the Titans kill humans and kill so many humans then, if they could just control them to scare off the humans? My reasoning to that, and why the outermost wall was invaded, was because they have to keep the population intact. If they keep eating and breeding and greeting, they will eventually outgrow the walls because of the growing population. So they had to kill off the population and give off this ploy of, we have to attack the Titans and fight them off or die from starvation, in order to kill off some of the population and keep them from outgrowing. And that was a necessary sacrifice for eternal peace. That's my theory. Leave your comments below. I'll see you in my next video. Peace.